movie that Keith David was in, The Thing, there was somebody in the audience in the back seat during the blood test scene that got up out of his seat and was screaming at the screen. And I turned around and I was like, oh, that's the type of reaction I want to get from something I create or do. The design for prosthetic is almost like a movie script. A good script is what makes a good movie. A crappy script makes a crappy movie, as well as a crappy design makes a crappy prosthetic. Once a design is decided upon, either through a description by the director or the script, and I come up with a suggestion or make up designs afterwards, we go to taking a life cast of the actor and then sculpting a prosthetic in clay, casting it and fabricating it in either silicone or foam rubber. It's a little bit more challenging to put on, say, a silicone prosthetic that has a large design, which is what our design had a big mass of growth on him. So with that, you need a bit of a small team to maneuver it in place. It's almost like doing minor surgery. After the prosthetic is glued on with a surgical glue, from there is coloring and blending with both in makeup and with an airbrush with special paints that is applied to the prosthetic. It could be pre-painted so that you save a little bit more time on set. So you could cut it down from like it being 5 to 6 hours down to like 2.5, 3 hours. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated. I always think like, oh, how am I going to do this? And I'm like, oh, I've done this mech 1,000 times doing animatronic lips on a creature, which is basically a spring cable lining type of a thing. And then you attach cables to whatever sections you want it to move. So that was impregnated into the sliced throat. So something that seemed very complicated actually was pretty straightforward to make, but looks so amazing. You know, it looks more than what it took to put into it. You never met a nicer, more professional, personable, amazing, and gracious human being. So he's definitely up there with some of the top people I've ever worked with. That was just amazing, from life casting to putting the appliance on. He's one of my favorite people I've done makeup on, for sure. It was a bucket list thing.